And to Ukraine now, where pro-Russian militants continue to gain the ground in the eastern part of that country. Government buildings have been seized in at least 10 cities. The Ukrainian government has asked the United Nations to send peacekeepers to help establish order and take part in joint counter-terrorist operations. The plea comes after a deadline to hand back the occupied buildings was ignored. As Stuart Greer reports, Russia is being blamed for inciting all the unrest.
Ignoring a morning deadline to end their occupation of government buildings in eastern Ukraine, pro-Russian demonstrators instead tightened their grip. A mob of more than 100 men stormed a police station in the town of Horlivka, setting fire to the building and attacking several officers and reporters.
The way in which they took it was very violent and very fast.
Most people in the eastern part of the country are Russian-speaking, and they want a referendum on autonomy or joining Russia. We refuse to recognize the government in Kiev, says this protester. But a Russian military commander was seen later demanding the loyalty of police officers.
It seems that people sent over the borders have created a situation which might now be used as a pretext for an armed intervention.
Russia has amassed up to 40,000 troops on Ukraine's eastern border and deployed more military aircraft. Both the European Union and the United States today expanded sanctions against Moscow and promised $1 billion each in loans to Kiev. In a meeting with the ambassadors of Ukraine and other Eastern European nations, Prime Minister Harper also promised action.
When a major power acts in a way that is so clearly aggressive, militaristic, and imperialistic, this represents a significant threat to the peace and stability of the world.
But Russia again denied any involvement, even as an airfield in eastern Ukraine was being seized by pro-Russian militants. Kiev seems increasingly weak after failing to carry out an anti-terror operation to regain control. And with the unrest in Ukraine only escalating, there's concern that diplomatic talks scheduled this week in Geneva to resolve the crisis could be cancelled, leaving Ukraine's acting prime minister with little choice but to ask the UN for peacekeepers to help stabilize the region. Stuart Greer, Global News, London.